What's going on, Jeromes? Happy Sunday. The glasses are in full effect. I don't know if people realize that I have very bad vision. Maybe that goes into my sports takes because I actually can't see what's going on in the game. I'll make a great referee. My prescription is -4.5, which is bad. Which is really, really bad. Anyways, we got some Q's, we got some A's, so let's dive on in. First up, Muhammad 18. Do you believe Vikes bring back Dalton or Camp A? Now, tangent. So, you see a lot of people spell Vikes, V-I-K-S, and I feel like it's pretty common, right? So there's a lot of people do that, where, except every time I see it, I think Vicks, like the Vapo rub. But... So, is V-I-K-S or V-I-K-E-S? I feel like they go either way. Anyways, bringing back Dalton or Cam A. So, Vikings have said that Blake Brandel's going to get your first shot at left guard. Now, I think they could bring back Reisner if Brandel and or Ed Ingram aren't good to go. Also, it could be a spot where they want to see what Michael Juergens can bring to the table. That's the wrong slide. Where's offense? They want to see what Michael Juergens brings to the table, and also I'm sure checking out what Dan Feeney is going to bring as a swing interior, and maybe getting a shot to guys like Tyrese Robinson, Henry Bird, etc. So I think that Reisner's on the back burner, but like the back burner. Now, Cam Akers, I could see them bringing back Akers for the start of training camp, and he's been training at the training house, which is next to TCO Performance Center Bar and Grill. And the Vikings, outside of Aaron Jones, who's essentially a swap out for Alexander Madison, they didn't sign anyone in free agency. They didn't bring in a draft pick or a UDFA at running back. So it could be a spot too where they're like, hey, Cam, get that Achilles back to 100%, and then we'll see what we can do. Right. So and Akers, I like Akers a lot. There's a lot of concern about a guy coming off of 2 separate Achilles on both feet, but he is still young. I mean, he's only 24, man. But I think that once he gets 100%, they'll assess. Maybe he's added to the 90-man, but it'll be a league minimum, nothing guaranteed, prove it type deal. Next, R3. Speaking of running backs, with the team adding 2 new quarterbacks and all the defensive talent, do you see Kevin O'Connell shifting the scheme a bit to focus on the run game? Long term, do you think the offense looks like it did when Kurt was here, or more of a hybrid? I think long term, it will look like the Kirk Cousins offense. Now, could be a lot more play action as J.J. McCarthy takes over. He was one of the highest rated play action quarterbacks in college football last season, and of course that's a big part of the Kevin O'Connell offense. Hence why it's such a great fit. But I could see them leaning more into the run game to start, whether it's Darnold or McCarthy, both to take a little pressure off of those guys' shoulders, as well as really keep play action viable. And also, I do think that Ty Chandler can have a breakout in year 3, and also Aaron Jones is a stud, as you know. Plus, the Vikings offensive line, especially that interior, hopefully continuity, hopefully health could certainly help things out. But I mean, last 2 years, so last year the run game was straight up a disaster. 2 years ago, the run game was very inefficient, despite Dalvin having some highlight reel runs. But hopefully they can get things together, because I think that the Vikings stylistically could shift to a sort of a grounded out play action passing, taking shots downfield with J.J. Addison, Hawkinson, and trying to play good defense. Speaking of defense, transitions are on point today. Drew Smith, do you think that the Flores system can be top 3 in the NFL this year? I think it'll surprise a lot of people. Maybe not top 3, because so defenses are still judged by total points, total yards, total etc. Right? But could they be top 10, 12? Sure. But I think what the Vikings will be numero uno is pressures. And I think that Flores is going to have so much fun creating pressures with his defense that it's not even going to be funny. I think that they're going to get after it. I think he's going to be super creative. I think that this defense is going to be a problem on third down, on third and forever, on clear passing situations, right? But the one Achilles heel right now is, can they stop it if the other team gets a lead and just decides to run the ball between the tackles over and over and over again? I don't know, but in terms of a lightning quick defense that's going to get heat on the quarterback, yes, I think that Flores' defense is going to be number 1 in terms of pressures. Next, Rudy Peel. With Powell being the main slot guy and seeing the field no matter what, how legit is the wide receiver 3-4 battle between Bo Jacksons? Ooh, they is for real. Thayer, Naylor, etc. And who do you think will win? Well, so wide receiver 3, it's not like you're starting left guard. It's not a static starting position, right? So there will be sub packages. There will be guys getting more snaps based on coverages, based on opponents, based on game plan. So Powell is penciled in as that wide receiver 3, but I still think that his role is going to be more of a gadgety type jet sweep player. But I think that there potentially is going to be a role for Jalen Naylor. They love Naylor. They want him to succeed, but health-wise just can't stay healthy. Sherfield, I think, is going to surprise some people, be in that mix there. Trishan Jackson got some run last year. He's liked a lot. Got an extensive run with the ones during week 1 OTAs. Malik Knowles, Thayer Jackson has been Thayer Thomas and Malik Knowles have been talked up extensively by Kevin O'Connell. Also, Deshaun Jones. He got the bag as a UDFA. So I think it's a spot where it's Jefferson, it's Addison. Powell will have a role, but also there's going to be plenty of other snaps for other guys to really step up and rise. Speaking of Jefferson, our guy Trevor Lowe fishing. If JJ wanted out of Minnesota and to fuel the dumbest rivalry in sports history, the Vikings and the Jets, would you send him to the Jets for Sauce and 2 future firsts? This is going to be really unpopular, but yes. I have that much affinity and love for Sauce Gardner. I feel like in a vacuum, sucks to say, but in a vacuum, it's a pretty close to a 1-for-1 trade. That's how good Sauce Gardner is, right? And he's a true blue shutdown half the field, belt buckle to belt buckle against another team's wide receiver 1 corner. And it's really close. Again, it's not downgrading Jefferson. I still obviously think he's the best wide receiver in the game, but I think it speaks volumes about how much I respect Sauce Gardner. And also the fact that you get 2 firsts with it. And plus, well, if JJ goes to the Jets, maybe they won't be bad. So that might not be a high first-round pick, but I hope it doesn't come to that. I don't want to have to make that decision. I'm sure that they'll work something out long-term. But, I mean, that would be tempting. And, yes, it would feel the dumbest rivalry in sports. The Vikings and the Jets. But that's it. That's Q&A on this beautiful Sunday. You guys are the best you know what to do. Skull production value.